Hello children, good morning. How are you all today? I'm Kabir's mom and I'm back with another story. Are you ready? Here we go. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer is written by the great writer Mark Twain. Have you heard about him before? The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, written by Mark Twain and retold by Dan Gibson with illustrations by Asha Pierce. Let's start. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer is a story that took place way back when America was still growing west and the land was a little wild and full of adventure. It is the story of a boy who was a lot like that land and time. Tom Sawyer lived with his Aunt Polly in a small town on the Mississippi River. He was clever and mischievous, which can be a potent combination. Mischief often landed Tom in trouble. Cleverness often helped Tom out of trouble. And there was quite a bit of trouble. Let's see. What happened? Who is that? Is that Miss Aunt Polly? Yes, I guess she is. Like the time Tom snuck into Aunt Polly's pantry and swiped a jar of a prize-winning jam, even though he had been warned not to touch it. To make matters worse, Tom then outwitted Aunt Polly, sneaking away before she knew what was happening. He was a rascal, all right, but his Aunt Polly loved Tom so dearly she could hardly bring herself to punish him. One day, Tom played hooky from school. Do you children know what hooky is? It says right here. Playing hooky means missing school without permission. It's just like truant, truancy. So Tom played hooky from school and got up to all sorts of shenanigans. By the time he arrived home, Aunt Polly was fit to be tied. When she tried to get Tom to admit he had skipped school, he cleverly avoided her questioning. Then he escaped into town, only to get into a fight with a city boy. Not to worry, Tom cleverly got the better of him. Look at this picture here. Now, when Tom once again returned home, this time ragged and dirty, Aunt Polly told him he would be spending his Saturday whitewashing their fence as punishment. It sure did hurt to be mischievous. That Saturday, Tom's unsuspecting friends came for a visit. They all teased him for not getting to go swimming. Tom ignored the teasing and instead acted as if whitewashing a fence was the most fun thing in the world. One by one, Tom convinced his friends that he was very lucky to get to whitewash a fence. In no time at all, they were begging for a turn. Tom acted reluctant, which just made his friends want a turn even more. And soon his pals were paying him to let them have a turn whitewashing. Look, everybody is whitewashing the fence now. Everybody indirectly is helping Tom. Now, when they didn't have money, Tom took their favorite trinkets as payment. Look, this Tom guy is really smart. He's a very smart chap. Instead of suffering through punishment, Tom Sawyer spent that Saturday lounging in the sun while his friends finished his chores. By the end of the day, he was rich. His pockets filled with marbles, an apple, a mouth harp, a kite, and many other prized possessions. It sure did pay to be clever, didn't it? There was one boy in town who would not fall for Tom's tricks, though. That boy was Tom's best friend and adventuring pal, Huckleberry Finn. Huck Finn had a tough life, but Huck said he liked it that way. Tom and Huck shared many big adventures. The two friends often went on treasure hunts, all the while discussing what they would do with the treasure once it was theirs. Huck decided he would spend his share of the loot on pie and soda, while Tom said he would probably use his share to settle down and get married. Here are the pictures of what they are up to. Tom and Huck also loved to explore secret caves. There, they would find waterfalls, stalactites, hidden passageways, and on one occasion, a whole mess of bats. The bats startled the boys so much that Tom ran the wrong way and got lost in the cave. For 3 days, Tom rationed the sweets he had stashed in his pockets until finally he was found and rescued. One night, while exploring the local cemetery, Tom and Huck stumbled on some bad guys and even witnessed a murder. When the wrong person ended up being accused of the murder, Tom wasn't sure what to do. Though Huck told him to stay quiet, that just didn't sit right with Tom. Despite being scared, Tom could not stand the idea of someone getting in trouble for something they didn't do, so he rustled up his bravery and told the truth. Huck saw Tom was thinking about someone other than himself when he did this, something Huck wasn't used to doing, and he admired it and made a note of it. It sure felt good to be brave. These are all different adventures that Tom was undertaking. Unfortunately, the part-time pirates awoke the next morning to find their raft had drifted away. They were stranded on the island with no way home. A bit of homesickness began to tug at them. Soon, the boys heard the faint sound of their names being called and realized people were looking for them. As it turned out, their capsized boat had been found near town and the boys had been presumed dead. Everyone was preparing for their funeral. Not too many boys get to witness their own funeral. This is one of their adventures. Tom and Huck decided it would be fun to ride out in the gallery of the church to see how their funeral service went. Before it was over, they couldn't find a dry eye in the house, not even their own. When Tom and Huck came out of hiding and walked down the aisle wiping their tears, the church was in shock, especially Aunt Polly. She could not decide whether to give Tom a cuff or a kiss, so she did both. The kind, charitable widow Douglas was so moved by all that had happened. She asked Huckleberry Finn if he would consider hanging up his wandering ways and come to live with her. After some clever convincing from Tom, he described all the comfy and delicious things about settled down life. Huck decided he would give it a try, though he held off from promising he would stay out of trouble. Tom and Huck had many more adventures and misadventures. It seemed that every time their love of mischief led them into trouble, their cleverness led them back out. It was how they loved to live. And if you'd love to read more about it, you should check out another fun book. It's called The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Ta-da! That's the end of the story. I hope you all liked the story, didn't you? Thank you for your patience and have a wonderful day.